understand why the horizon never drops, you have to realize that humans are effectively microscopic, and the scale of the Earth is more aggressive than we can imagine. You think you see the world as it is. You think when you look out at the ocean or across a mountain range, you are grasping the true dimensions of your home. But you aren't. Your brain is lying to you to keep you sane. Our perception of space is fundamentally mathematically broken. We live in a world of curves we perceive as lines and voids we perceive as substance. And if you stay until the end of this journey, you'll realize that the very floor beneath your feet is part of a geometric trick so vast it makes our entire civilization look like dust on a lens. This is the reality of the scale we ignore. Every map you've ever looked at, every distance you've ever traveled, and every photo of the cosmos you've ever admired is a lie, designed to fit inside a human skull. But here is the part nobody talks about. We aren't just bad at seeing size, we are biologically incapable of it. We are inhabitants of a sphere so large that our evolution decided it was simpler to just tell us the world was flat for a few thousand years. Even now, knowing the truth, we cannot feel it. We feel the ground as a stable horizontal plane. We feel up and down as universal constants. But up for you is down for someone else, and sideways is a direction that literally doesn't exist in a spherical reality. This mismatch creates a cognitive friction that dictates everything from how we build cities to how we view our place in the stars. To understand the story of our broken perception, we have to look at the horizon. If you stand on a beach, the horizon is roughly 3 miles away. To you, it looks like the edge of the world. But here's where it gets worse. If you move forward those 3 miles, the horizon is still 3 miles away. You are chasing a ghost. You are living in a biological UI that hides the curvature of the Earth, because your ancestors didn't need to calculate the arc of the planet to hunt a mammoth. They needed to see the ground as flat to run. We are effectively ants walking on a hot air balloon, convinced we are on a sidewalk. But this isn't just about the Earth. If our perception of our own planet is that flawed, what happens when we look at the gap between us and the moon? On every school poster and in every textbook, the moon is shown a few inches away from Earth. But this is the lie of convenience. In reality, you could fit every single planet in our solar system, Jupiter, Saturn, even the massive ice giants, into the gap between the Earth and the moon, and you would still have room to spare. Now this changes everything. If we can't even visualize the distance to our closest neighbor without shrinking it by 90%, how can we hope to understand the galaxy? The scale of the Earth is aggressive, but the scale of the void is hostile. We use terms like light year to make it sound manageable. We say Proxima Centauri is 4.2 light years away. It sounds like a short drive, but if the Earth were the size of a grain of sand, the nearest star would be 20 miles away. Between those 2 grains of sand, absolutely nothing. But here is where the story takes a darker turn. We think of space as a stage, a place where things happen. We think we see the stars as they are right now, but we don't. Because space and time are locked in a fatal embrace, we have never seen the universe in the present. When you look at the sun, you see it as it was 8 minutes ago. If the sun exploded right now, you would continue to feel its warmth and see its light for nearly 10 minutes. You would be living in a reality that no longer exists. This is the speed of light trap. Because light has a speed limit, the further out we look, the further back in time we see. The stars you see at night aren't objects, they are historical records. Some of them have been dead for millions of years, but their light is just now reaching your eyes. You are essentially a ghost hunter every time you look up. But wait, it gets even more unsettling. This is the part that scientists are still struggling to reconcile with human intuition. Not only is space vast, but it is also expanding. And it isn't expanding into anything. Space itself is stretching. Imagine a balloon with dots on it being blown up. The dots don't move across the rubber between them just grows. This means that right now, the most distant galaxies are moving away from us faster than the speed of light. They aren't breaking the laws of physics because they aren't moving through space. Space itself is just creating more of itself between us and them. And here's the twist you didn't see coming. Because of this expansion, 94% of the galaxies in the observable universe are already unreachable. Even if we had a ship that could travel at the speed of light, we could never reach them. They are effectively gone. We are looking at a universe that is mostly a graveyard of places we can never visit. Our perception tells us we are part of a connected cosmos. Physics tells us we are on a sinking island in an ocean that is growing faster than we can swim. This leads us to a deeper insight about our existence. Why does this matter? It matters because our entire economic and political system is based on the flat Earth logic of our ancestors. We treat resources as finite on a local scale, but ignore the infinite scale of the environment we inhabit. We worry about borders that are literally invisible from a few miles up. We argue over inches of land on a sphere that is 24,000 miles in circumference, which itself is a speck in a solar system that is 99% empty. If we could truly perceive space, if we could feel the curvature, if we could sense the void, if we could see the time lag of the stars, our behavior would change overnight. We wouldn't see ourselves as masters of a planet. We would see ourselves as lucky passengers on a very small, very fragile life raft. The aggressive scale of the Earth is actually our greatest protection. It is the only thing that keeps us from realizing how truly tiny we are. It provides the illusion of a vast, infinite playground. But the truth is, we are microscopic. We are living on the skin of an apple, convinced we have conquered the orchard. So the next time you look at the horizon and wonder why it doesn't drop, remember, it's not because the world is flat. It's because you are too small to see the truth. And in a universe this vast, that might be the only thing keeping us from losing our minds.